Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Horse Center. I'm Wild Jamie, and with me is my fabulous co-host, Swiss Army Sean. And our special guest tonight is the reigning top agent of a little place called Woodbine Racetrack. You might have heard of it, and that is Jordan Miller. Jordan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. We know you're incredibly busy. You have the top rider there at Woodbine and also a couple other riders in the standings doing incredibly well. So we know you are a very busy man. So back before you started this amazing, successful career as an agent, I know you did some other things on the racetrack as well. Tell us about how you got your start in the industry.
Going way back, I'm third generation in horse racing. So grandparents on both sides, both my parents. So I started going to the track, literally from day one. I started as a hot walker, groom for my parents, AT'd for my parents for a bit. Then when I turned 16, I switched to exercise riding. I did that for about 15 years. Through the time, I had a few of my own horses bought from the sale, broke babies. Um, yeah, kind of just I valeted for a while. I worked on the gate. I've pretty much done all of it.
That is awesome. So, what drew you to being a jockey agent in particular, considering all of your background?
I always wanted to be a jockey agent. I kind of overstayed my welcome with my size as an exercise rider, to say the least. I'm pretty tall. I'm a pretty big guy, so um, it wasn't going to last too much longer. So a couple things just happened to fall in place at the right time, and a friend of mine was looking to move from Vancouver out to Woodbine, and was asking if I knew of any agents out there, and I said, well, I'm looking to start, and I don't know if you guys know or not, but you can't take your jock's agent's license out and then just wait for jockey. To get your license, you have to have a rider willing to use you beforehand, and then you're allowed to go write the test. So you kind of have to have a rider willing to use you, knowing that you've never done it before. So she was willing to do it. It worked out well. She came out here and she rode for a couple months, and it kind of was the segue into everything that's led on.
Very cool. Now, considering all the different jobs you've had at the track, what has been your favorite so far?
I loved exercising horses. I really did. And I really liked working in the starting gate. Those are probably the two my two favorite. But yeah, riding horses, I mean, you can't really beat that.
So, you're a bit of an adrenaline junkie.
Yes, to say the least.
Very cool. I'm sure you still get the adrenaline going when you got to tell a trainer, actually, we can't ride that horse.
Yeah, that's a daily thing for me. Yeah, so
Absolutely. It would be hard to keep everyone happy because, like I said, you have three very in demand riders. So I'm sure that you have people just blowing up your phone continuously. How did this relationship start with Kazushi Kimura, currently the top jockey at Woodbine and someone who's just done amazing there, California? He's just phenomenal.
with Kazushi, it was kind of right place, right time. I was out by the train track. I saw a set of breezers go by, and I didn't recognize one of the riders. I approached him when he was walking home, and he didn't know a word of English. So I quickly took out my phone and just did Google Translate, and through a few minutes found out that he had moved here from Japan. He was looking to be a jockey. At the time, he was just exercising horses. Um, and so he was living a long ways away from the track, waking up 3 o'clock in the morning, taking two buses, walking to the track, and doing all that stuff. So kind of got together with him, set out a plan of how to get his license, and because at the time, like I said, he didn't know one word of English. So the final step here to getting your jock's license is you have to write a written test in English,
Oh,
and it's
wow.
like 85% to pass. So that was like the beginning of April, and basically, yeah, he was going up taking him up to the school after work in the morning, and he was studying with a bunch of Japanese kids that were at the college and learning English. And he'd come to my house every day. We'd watch replays and go over the rule book, and he'd rewrite the rule book in English back and forth, and just studied. And by the end of May, he took the test and passed, and had his first start, I believe, May 31st, came second, and the rest is history.
Wow, that is so cool. I was not aware that you guys actually kind of did this project together from the beginning. Usually when jockeys and agents get together, they both have previous history and then just kind of end up coming together. So it's really cool that you just built it out of nowhere. I love that.
Yeah, it's a very special relationship, and it goes a lot more than jockey agent. I helped him get his driver's license and his first apartment and his first car and all those steps. You know what I mean? So it's like I said, it's a lot more than just jockey agent.
Awesome.
Nice. So then, how about Sophia Vives? How did that happen?
That's another by chance thing. She had come up last summer to gallop horses for Mark Casse. Her exercise license hadn't actually come through, so the one day she came to the track, she couldn't actually get on horses. And she was out standing by the rail, and I was standing there watching horses early in the morning, and we just got to talking, introduced myself. She introduced herself and what she was up there looking to do. And, she said she was looking to come up and gallop and eventually start her apprenticeship. So, we stayed in touch. And when it was time, because obviously she's American, she needed papers up here and stuff. And dealing with Kazushi for years, I'm well versed with, how to get the papers and stuff like that. And so we started the process, and she had her first start around November 7th, and she rolled through her 4 wins in about 10 days, and we had to stop with her.
So then when they go to different tracks, do you represent them there too, or not?
I do, yeah. So with Sophia going to Parks, and I represent her there. Kazushi and Declan, when they go to Presque Isle or New York, I represent them there as well. So yeah, it's quite busy.
Yeah. So do you do the travel back and forth between Woodbine and Parks too?
So at the beginning of the year, we went for like 4 weeks straight. We were driving down there, going to meet trainers, breeze horses. Because like I said, I didn't know anybody there, and she didn't know anybody there. So I knew I wouldn't be able to frequently go back and forth. So spent a lot of time that month there, and got to know people. And since then, I've gone back a couple times, and yeah, that's kind of how it's been going.
Nice. So if somebody wanted to be a jockey agent, what are some of the strengths that you really need?
You need thick skin. That's for one. You definitely need thick skin, because it doesn't matter. What really did help me was I felt was a lot of the relationships that I had built from freelance galloping. I had ridden a lot of horses for a lot of trainers and helped them out and stuff, and it helped me feel very comfortable walking into the barn knowing they're going to tell me no, but it's okay because I'm comfortable with them telling me no. You know what I mean? So you have to have tough skin, and handicapping is a major role in being an agent. You kind of have to, in a little bit of a way, know what the trainer is going to do or a trainer and owner are going to do before they actually even do it. Because if you've got a rider that's in demand or winning races, then there's a good chance multiple people are going to be asking you for the same race. So you don't want to prematurely tell somebody yes, and then an obvious horse that you want to ride pops up. So you really got to do your homework ahead of time.
Yeah, and I'm always interested in that. How does the handicapping? So better's no handicapping, but you have a different kind of handicapping. So explain the similarities and the differences between the better at home looking at a program and you looking for your job.
Well, the better at home, he gets to see the finished product, and I'm looking at it 2 rough drafts before the rough draft. So basically, you have to try and figure out who's going to go into the races before they go in the races, and kind of lay all those horses out and look to see from there who you'd want to ride in the race. And, you want to go after that, who you think is the best horse in the race right from the start. They might already have a rider. That trainer tells you, sorry, I've already got a rider. You go to the second horse, and so on and so forth. But, there's a lot of times, with dealing with Kazushi, especially, there is 2, 3, 4 horses in a race that we might have rode last time, and there could be a race where 2 or 3 of them we won on last time, so it's just trying to make the right choices and upsetting the least amount of people at the same time.
That was my next. Have you ever had to do the where you didn't know another horse was getting entered and you had to pull your jockey from the horse you originally signed up for and go to the other one?
Oh yeah. I think I've been a little bit notorious with the fines from the stewards for making switches last second. So yeah, if anyone from Woodbine's watching, they would definitely have laughed at that question.
So how long do you have before you get a fine for that?
Sorry, say that again.
So how long? You said you get fined for that for late. So what's the time frame for that?
Well, technically, by the rule, if you give somebody the call, it doesn't matter if it's 3 weeks out or 3 hours out. Once you've given someone their first call, that's supposed to be your call. So whether you go to them a week out and you're like, listen, I'm in trouble, they can still say, no, you're going to ride my horse. And if I switch, I'll still get in trouble then. And it can happen where, there's 2 races the same day that are kind of similar. You've given the call to trainer A in this race and trainer B in this race. One race doesn't fill and trainer A switches from that race into the other race with trainer B, and you much rather ride trainer A horse. So at the end of the day, when the riders are opening the form to go ride that day, you have to justify why you're on this horse and not that horse, because, also at the end of the day, I'm working for them. So they don't want to hear the excuses in the middle. That's what they pay us for.
Gotcha. I feel like more and more racing is becoming an agent's game. I mean, it's one of the hardest jobs out there. Everyone knows I tried to do it for one race meet and it was absolutely disastrous. So props to you, Jordan. You are just killing it. You are so good at what you do. And obviously the proof is in the pudding. All 3 of your jockeys are doing amazing. So good for you.
Thank you.
I do have a question. What do you think is your best moment in racing so far, where you just felt really proud of your hard work and what you've accomplished?
I think there'd be a few that were right up there. I mean, definitely Kazushi's first lifetime win and Sophia's first lifetime win. Those were, those are really good, feel-good things because, there was a lot of work that went into those, to getting the licenses and to getting those mounts and getting that first win. Those were big moments. Definitely, I can still remember Kazushi's first stakes win. That was, I might have yelled a little bit louder that day than I ever did because, he was still an apprentice and got a shot in a stake and kind of did a last to first swoop and win his first stake race. So that one felt really good. And last year, the EP Taylor, we won, grade 1 for Chad Brown. That was the, monetarily wise, that was the biggest race we'd ever won.
Awesome. All right, we've got a bunch of comments that just popped in here. Sorry, guys. So let's catch up on a few of these. From John De Silva, we have hoping Jordan can get Sophia a couple mounts and our stakes at Park on Tuesday that we take entries for tomorrow. So hint, hint, there we go. And from Grandma Horse Racing, how do you find them rides? What do you look for?
To answer the first question, we're not actually going to be there this week coming up. We're staying away for one more week, mainly because one of the cards was basically full of stakes races, and normally you don't. It's quite hard to get an apprentice a ride in a stakes race because they don't get the weight allowance for a stakes race. So we kind of decided for her to stay riding in Fort Erie for next week for the Monday, Tuesday, and then we'll be back at Parks the following week. As for we're gonna, just looking for the best horse in the race and just trying to attack and get to those horses before someone else does.
Absolutely. So what is your typical day like as a jockey agent?
It's wake up, go to the track. The phone starts ringing 6:15, 6:30 already. So I like to be there at the track and, see horses train and stuff, especially when my riders have breezers in the morning. I like to see the horses breeze, and, for good or for bad, a horse might breeze really well and, you want to stick with that horse kind of no matter where it's going, or a horse might not breeze very well. And on paper, he looks like he's the horse to ride, but, he doesn't breeze well in the morning. And, you might have yourself a little bit of inside knowledge to stay away from that horse the next time he runs. So kind of do that and, stay at the track for a couple hours. I mean, since COVID, the one good thing that's come from COVID for our job is now we get to do the actual draw from home or from wherever. You don't have to be at the race office hanging out till wrap your day up at 9:30, 10:30. You can go home, and that's then when the phone really starts to go off the hook, because the first rundown comes out at 10:30, and people are seeing that the races aren't going to go, and they're already looking to jump races, and you start pulling your hair out.
Sure.
So we didn't get to Declan Carroll yet. How did that relationship come about?
So actually last summer when Kazushi had an accident, he was going to be out for a little bit. Declan and Kazushi had become quite good friends last year, and Declan had asked if I was interested in taking his book, and at that moment, it was just good timing, and so I started with him and was able to get him going when Kazushi was going to be off for about 3 weeks. So and that was prior to Sophia. So at that moment, I didn't have anybody at that time. So started with Declan, and yeah, had a pretty successful fall of last year, and you just transitioned it into this year.
Absolutely. Now, is Woodbine 3 riders you're allowed to have? Because some tracks are, like, every track's different. How does that work?
Yeah, so Woodbine, you're allowed 2 journeymen and 1 apprentice, where pretty much everywhere I've talked, they say we're lucky up here because you're only allowed 2. It doesn't matter what they are.
Okay.
Interesting. So out of all of the tracks that you've been to, which one is your favorite?
I loved Santa Anita when I used to gallop. I spent 4 winters there galloping. It's a great track. I didn't do a lot of traveling on the East Coast. I was at Churchill for the Derby, obviously this year with Kazushi riding. I stopped by Saratoga for a day this summer for the first time. Those are obviously beautiful places, but I didn't spend too much time there. So I really enjoyed Santa Anita.
Yeah, I'm sure. I haven't been there, but I've seen pictures. It looks really nice. So did you have a mentor kind of help you out when you were first starting to be an agent, or were you so familiar with the racetrack in general that you just kind of figured it out on your own?
Not really. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you're competing against other guys, and not a lot of people are willing to push you in the right direction to take their money. I mean, at the end of the day, it's we get paid on percentage. We don't have a salary, so people let you figure it out on your own.
Yeah, makes sense. We've got a funny comment here from Canine Striker. We have a horse named Declan. My ears perked up when I heard his name.
Or it's Declan Carroll and Declan Cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, I mean, as you know, being around horses, I mean, everyone's given their nicknames to their horses, and a lot of the times they're named after, a human, or obviously their mom or dad. So it's not surprising that, a name like Declan was used for a horse.
Yeah. We have another question here. This kind of brings me to something else I wanted to ask you. John De Silva says, I'm guessing Sophia is taking the winter off this year. So when is she scheduled to lose the bug? Yeah, because I think she timed it right where she can actually do the bug for 2 years, right?
Yes and no. We haven't made a final decision of what we're doing for the winter as of yet. In Canada, because we don't offer year-round racing, if you don't ride in the winter, you can freeze the bug and then have what's left of your 365 days tacked on to the following year. But the United States does not. So if we were to stop with her, she couldn't ride all winter. And then when she came back to Woodbine, she would be able to ride as an apprentice at Woodbine, but she would not be an apprentice in the States.
Oh, gotcha.
So we are toying with the idea of just keeping her going through the winter and do a traditional 365-day bug year.
Okay, very cool. And then you're going to California this winter with Kazushi, is that right?
That is right. Yes, that's our plan, is to go with Kazushi to Santa Anita, and for him to ride his second winter out there, and then like I said, with Sophia, depending on what we finalize, if she continues to ride through the winter time, then I'll take care of that wherever we do decide for her to go, and Declan's looking to go to Turfway Park.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, I want to comment on both of those too. One, Parks is a little different, but Sophia picked it up and was off to a fast start right away at Parks, which was great. And then as far as Kazushi, he kind of had a slow start at Santa Anita, and then he really picked it up towards the end of the meet there.
Yeah, I mean, with Kazushi, I mean, it's obviously a new face into a brand new colony, and they had some extraordinary riders there last winter. It was a far deeper colony than it had been in the few years in the past. We were lucky enough that Kazushi had some really good supporters backing him, and got unlucky a little bit at the beginning, had some really live horses that just didn't run. And, when you go anywhere, you want to hit the ground running, you want to win right away. And that just didn't happen. And, at the end of the day, his talent is going to come out above all, and horses are going to run, and he's going to ride them well. And that's what ended up happening with him. As far as Sophia, same thing. We had people ready right off the bat that were willing to give her a shot, and she won her first mount at Parks. And, from there, that the rest of it kind of just writes itself. People have been willing to give her mounts and give her good mounts, and she's been riding well there, still making the mistake here and there like any rider does, and especially an apprentice. But, she's doing a really good job, and I'm really happy with what she's doing.
Yeah, she's been a fan favorite. We got comments here about people winning money betting on her, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've noticed with Sophia, and maybe you can, I see it and I'm watching it, but I'm not sure what she does. But she always has horse at the end, especially, and she always makes that great coming up the rail trip. I don't know how she rides different than other jockeys, but she's got this technique of really having a lot of horse at the end and saving it for the right time.
Well, she's riding very smart races. We had talked tactically of how we kind of wanted to attack and ride at Parks, and she's been doing that really, really well. But I mean, 5 pounds is a big help, especially the last 16th of a mile, last 8th of a mile when horses are getting tired. And, Parks is a bit of a deeper track, tiring track, and, you can really see when they're certain horses are enjoying the 5 pounds off. That's for sure.
Yeah, and we've got a comment here from one of our favorites, Sean Patrick Nolan. A lot of Jordan's riders ride for my friend Catherine Day Phillips, and he is an excellent agent. Looking forward to seeing him this weekend at the plate. So very cool. And also, Jordan, I will be up there the weekend of like September 16th. So hopefully I'll be able to catch up with you guys there. I'll
Awesome.
be doing a little show with America's Best Racing. I'm kind of nervous. It's my first handicapping live show. So if you've got any
Oh,
great
that's
pointers,
awesome.
hit me up.
Yeah, for sure. Remember, the worst that happens is you get them wrong. So it's no big deal.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I'm getting paid either way. So the people watching me may not get paid
Well-
if I make the wrong choice, but for me,
I think the
exactly.
secret is play Jordan Miller's jockeys.
Yes, that's what I'll do. I'll just circle Kazushi, Sophia, and Declan every race, and we'll roll with it. There we go.
There you go. There. And
You would
if
win
they
more than
lose,
you
then you
lose.
can blame me. It's easy.
Yeah,
used
there
to
we go.
So Sean Nolan mentioned the King's Plate. It's a big weekend at Woodbine. Do you have any exciting mounts or exciting races you're looking forward to there with your jockeys?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be pretty busy this weekend. Obviously, looking forward to the King's Plate. It's it's the spectacle of our year, and we're always looking to try and get a good horse for that and win that race. But yeah, all three of them are going to be pretty busy this weekend, and just looking to get lucky. Not just in the big races, but in all of them.
Very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, Sean, did you have anything else that you wanted to ask?
Well, I'll say you got to be busy with three jockeys, so you 95% of your time too. But what do you do for fun outside of horse racing?
I love to golf.
Okay.
Do you golf with all three of your jockeys? Do they all golf?
No, none of them actually, because Kazushi was Kazushi picked up a set of clubs this spring. I think he went to the driving range once, and I don't know if he's picked them up again. So
I think they're all very busy. I know Kazushi is like world famous for just working nonstop, and Sophia, she doesn't have time either. She's driving back and forth to parks, so
not even close. Not even no. Definitely with her schedule, she's except for these last 3 weeks when Parks was closed, she's been riding 7 days a week. And Kazushi, he's a consummate professional. He has his regimen, and he sticks to what he does. And same as Declan, he's out running every day and just figuring out how to be a better rider. And all of them are just so professional. I am extremely lucky to have the three of them.
well, you have a great team here, and I love this comment from Grandma Horse Racing. You have such loyalty to your riders. It's awesome. I couldn't agree more. And Jordan, you are such an inspiration to all of us, particularly Sean, who's always wildly curious about agenting and what that might look like. So any advice?
Would you recommend that or no?
No.
All right, there you go, Sean. Give it up. Don't even think about it.
Yeah, give it up.
You're
Okay.
Well, do you have any advice to someone who is interested in being a jockey agent?
Yeah. I mean, just be prepared for being told no a lot, and be prepared to, need some tough skin, and just
Oh, I think he cut out. Can you hear anything? I don't know if it's my internet or his. Okay.
I don't hear anything now. It's been getting close to him cutting out, but he's always been there.
Yeah.
I think we lost him this time.
Uh-oh, we lost him right before he was going to give us the key to success. Oh, Jordan, you're back. Okay, so we lost you like right before you said develop a thick skin, and then you kind of cut out. So what did you say after that? Uh-oh. I think he's still gone. Can you hear us, Jordan?
Yeah, I can see you guys.
Oh, okay. So you cut out right after you said you need to develop a thick skin. The rest of it kind of cut out right before we got the keys to success. So if you could please repeat what advice you would give to someone who wants to be a jockey agent.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you definitely need thick skin, and you have to be willing to let people tell you no, and you're going to lose a lot more races than you're going to win. There's a lot of defeat in horse racing, but at the end of the day, when you do get those wins, it's an absolutely amazing feeling, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. So for all the rest of it that it entails, it's definitely worth it.
Is it any different than trying to sell like this show and always getting no, not interested?
It's probably about the same thing. It's
there we go.
About the same thing.
I've got thick skin, and I get a lot of that.
Yeah. And Sean, you dealing with the social media, you have developed a thick skin. That's for sure. Oh my goodness.
Nature of the beast.
Yeah. We've got to end on this comment. This is amazing from John De Silva. To prepare to be an agent, just prepare to be like my dating life. Expect a lot of failure and rejection. Okay, John, since you volunteered that, we'll go ahead and put it out there. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on tonight, Jordan. It is really inspirational what you've kind of built from the ground up. It's fabulous, and we wish you all the best, and we will definitely have to have you back on the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Have a good night and have a successful summer.
Take care.
Bye. Well, there you go, Sean. Now you know what you got to do to get in the game, make it happen. We heard it from one of the best in the business tonight. So, we got another cool comment here right after Jordan left, unfortunately. I love who Jordan represents and believe they will go a long way. Oh, and another comment from Canine Striker. This show is the best. Well, thank you, Canine Striker. They always have the best guests. It's true. I feel like we've had a really lucky run lately, Swiss Army Sean. Well, Paula Bacon suggested this guest, and we know she always has the best guests. So you can't go wrong with another top agent. So there we go. We just need to have her be the agent for the show.
And Declan Carroll, I've talked to him. He was actually scheduled for the show, and then something came up, but he is definitely going to come on at some point. So we'll have him on as well. So.
Awesome. And I'm going to keep harassing Kazushi. I mean, I'm not giving up. He keeps saying maybe one day, and then he kind of stops texting me, but I don't give up, Kazushi. So if you're watching, I'm on it. All right. We're going to make this happen.
There you go.
All right. What else have we got going on, Sean?
So tomorrow, George Allen Bryant returns, trainer. Incredible story. He's beaten cancer twice now. He's back. He's winning really good right now. So he's always fun. Tomorrow we don't even need to show up. We just need to set up George Bryant, and he'll go with it. It's great, and you guys aren't even going to know that it's an hour that we're on because you're going to have so much fun with him. So he's really looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely love him. Always look forward to the shows with him. He always brings such great life perspective as well as perspective as a horseman in the industry and all that. So definitely excited about that one. And what else have we got?
Well, tomorrow the guys will be doing Saratoga. It will be Rich and either Terry or Charles. I'm not sure. It's Wednesday, so it's usually Charles, but sometimes it's Terry. But they'll be there. They'll be here.
They'll be here.
So,
there you go.
Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube. It's funny. I've watched other channels. They have less subscribers and they have more likes because they're acting like they're 13 again, and alcohol's cool, swearing's cool, all that. We're just real. We're interviewing people. Give us a like for that. We don't need to act immature and all that. We are who we are, and we just like bringing good stuff to the front. I mean, look what we learned tonight with Kazushi's going to California again. Sophia may just run throughout and not take off this winter.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that.
Yeah,
we've broken a lot of stories here. We've had pregnancies, we've had engagements, we've had future plans. Like, very cool. Oh, and Terry's coming in here with Charles. Okay, good to know, Terry. We always appreciate you being here. Absolutely love Terry, especially when he keeps
speaking that straight line, so I know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it when Terry hops on the show and fills in for one of us. He is incredible at so many things, especially being that last minute pinch hitter. So always appreciate that. But yes, please like, subscribe, follow, share, all the good things. We really, really appreciate it. It just helps bring more visibility to this channel and helps us to do more. So we would love to see you there. And we would also love to see you in the
Winner's circle.
good night, everyone.